in this deep atmospheric exploration titled Clarence Williams III, reveals what most fans never figured out on Tales from the Hood, 1995. We take viewers on a haunting, emotional journey into the mind of one of the most enigmatic and gifted actors of his generation, examining the hidden layers, symbolic meanings, and secret behind-the-scenes insights that Clarence Williams III carried with him into his legendary role as Mr. Sims, the eerie funeral home director who became the unforgettable centerpiece of Rusty Cundiff's cult classic horror anthology film, Tales from the Hood. We begin by transporting the audience back to the mid-1990s, a time when the horror genre was shifting, hip-hop culture was influencing cinema, and Black filmmakers were weaving social commentary into storytelling in bold, unprecedented ways, setting the perfect stage for a movie that fused supernatural terror with real-world injustice, and at the heart of it all stood Clarence Williams III, whose mesmerizing performance became so iconic that fans, decades later, still quote his lines, mimic his cadence, and debate the meaning of his twisted theatrical delivery. But what many fans never realized, and what this video explores, is how Clarence approached the role with a level of psychological depth, spiritual symbolism, and personal interpretation that most people never caught. Because to him, Mr. Sims wasn't just a creepy guide into the underworld of moral consequences. He was a layered, philosophical embodiment of judgment, truth, social karma, and the hidden pain carried by Black communities throughout American history. In this dramatic and reflective narrative, we examine how Clarence saw Tales from the Hood not merely as horror, but as a social sermon disguised in gore and suspense, a film where his character served as both storyteller and executioner, guardian and guide, and a mirror reflecting the sins society tried to ignore. Drawing from interviews, commentary, and artistic understanding, we explore how Clarence meticulously crafted every detail of his performance, from the sly grin that suggested he knew more than he revealed, to the unsettling pauses that made audiences lean in, to the explosive final transformation scene that remains one of the most shocking endings in 90s horror cinema. Because in his mind, Mr. Sims represented a force that existed outside time, someone who had watched generations suffer, struggle, inflict harm, and eventually face consequences they thought would never come. We examine how Clarence believed the film's segments, police brutality, domestic violence, political corruption, gang violence, were not random horror vignettes, but a cautionary tapestry meant to expose the kind of evil that lurks within broken systems, broken families, and broken souls, and how his job as the guide was to bring the audience face to face with the uncomfortable truth that monsters often wear human faces, not supernatural ones. As we move deeper into the narrative, we explore the emotional resonance Clarence carried into the film, reflecting the cultural wounds of the 60s and 70s he witnessed firsthand, the riots, the protests, the social battles he lived through as a rising star on the Mod Squad, and how those experiences shaped his understanding of justice, power, fear, and the responsibility of Black artists to use their craft for meaning rather than entertainment alone. We discuss how Clarence, known for playing intense, enigmatic characters, intentionally embraced the theatrical, almost Shakespearean rhythm of his performance, believing that horror, when done correctly, should feel like morality wrapped in madness, and that Mr. Sims needed to be frightening not because of what he was, but because of what he represented. An unavoidable truth all humans must face. In one of the most powerful revelations hidden behind his performance, Clarence believed the film was not about punishing villains, but about forcing viewers to confront the reality that evil is cyclical, that violence creates violence, and that unresolved trauma becomes generational. And he approached his final monologue with the intention of breaking the fourth wall, letting the audience themselves feel judged by the narrative's moral weight. Very few fans picked up on this, but Clarence had explained privately that Mr. Sims was never truly a villain. He was simply the gatekeeper for accountability in a world where injustice often goes unanswered. As we continue the video, we explore how Clarence's personal artistic philosophy, rooted in mystery, discipline, and emotional authenticity, made his portrayal unforgettable, and how he believed Tales from the Hood would be remembered not for its scares, but for the truths buried inside the horror. Truths that audiences were still unpacking decades on the legacy of Clarence Williams III, the depth of his career, the haunting brilliance of his presence, and the spiritual undercurrent he brought to every role, culminating in one of cinema's most chilling lines, a moment that became a cultural stamp on horror history, and how fans, only years later, realized that Clarence wasn't simply acting. He was delivering a message far deeper than the script itself. And as the narrative draws to a close, we leave viewers with the haunting realization that what most fans never figured out is that Clarence Williams III didn't just play Mr. Sims. He created Mr. Sims, shaped him from the fabric of social truth, theatrical mastery, cultural memory, and spiritual symbolism, turning a character into a message, a performance into a revelation, and a horror movie into a lasting reminder that the darkest stories are not the ones told in shadows, but the ones we live every day without ever questioning them. Thanks for watching.